All right, so let's take a look at classifying 3D figures. So what we looked at yesterday is, our last lesson, is the area of a two-dimensional figure, okay? So this brings in a third axis. Like we looked at X and Y, that's flat, and then the Z-axis is what takes it to a three-dimensional. So this is what we're looking at here. These are going to be called prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres. These are the five main 3D figures that we're going to look at. Now these figures we're looking at are right figures, which means their height is perpendicular to their base. They're not slanted or anything like that, or called oblique. So a prism is a solid with two bases that are congruent and parallel. Okay, and this figure is a triangular prism, and their bases are the shapes of what we call them. So it's a triangle. So if we look here, this is the triangle face here, and we have two faces that are going to be parallel to each other, the top and the bottom. That's how you determine what kind of figure this is. This is a triangular prism. And their lateral faces, which are the sides here, are rectangles in a prism. So let's look at the pyramid. It's a solid with one base and faces that meet at a point. So this would be a triangular pyramid because it's got a triangle at the bottom, and we have three triangles going around the side of it. So we always name these by their base. A cylinder here, a little bit different here. So the cylinder, the two bases here are circles in a cylinder. It's like a can of soup, okay? Top and bottom are parallel to each other. The bases are parallel, and this is the lateral part, is around the side of it, which would kind of be your label of your can. In a cone, the base is a circle. And in a sphere, of course, there is no base for this. It's just a three-dimensional ball. Okay, it has it's a point where there's a point in the middle here, and it's the same distance away from everything, kind of like the center of a circle. There's a center of a sphere. So let's look at identifying each solid and then highlight the base. So let's take a look at our base here. Our base is a rectangular shape. Okay, pyramids are made up of a bunch of triangles. So in most cases that's obvious which is the base here, so that means this is going to be a rectangular prism or pyramid. Okay, the next one here, this is a cone. There's only one name for it here, so we'll highlight our base here, which is a circle. All right, the next one here, I'll go ahead and highlight. This is going to be a triangular prism because the bases are triangles and the sides are rectangles. Let's go to the next one here. Notice this one here. We've got a bunch of triangles. This is a pyramid. Come together at a point. And so the base of this, we have to count the number of sides. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the base here. That means it's a hexagon shape. So this is a hexagonal pyramid. And let's highlight our base here. So as we go around this, we'll highlight it. This is the base. It's important to understand which one's the base on these, especially in the rectangular prisms, as we go forward here looking at how we find these three-dimensional solids. So this one here, this is a cylinder. So we have a circle for the bases, the two parallel faces. And the height of these are always the distance between our bases. So this right here is a cylinder. And that's all we need to label on that one. So this one here. This one is probably the most difficult because they're all rectangular. Okay, each shape could be a rectangle, therefore it's hard to determine a base. So in this case, you just need to determine which one is your base. So a lot of times I just let the bottom be my base in a rectangular prism. And that means the top and the bottom are what we call bases. So there's two faces that are parallel to each other, but in this case we have three sets of parallel sides. We got the front and the back, we got the left and the right, we got the top and the bottom that are parallel to each other. So it can be a little tricky, but it's still a rectangular prism. All right, let's go through here. Notice here, this shape right here, we have a trapezoid, okay? We got a trapezoid in the front and the back, which means this is a trapezoidal prism. Let's highlight the bases here. This is going to be our base going around here. The front and the back are our bases. Can do this without, so we can kind of see what we got here. And that is the back face. Front and back face are our bases. Bottom over here, notice this is a square. Because of the sides marked here, you just have to notice it's real light, but these are a square here. This is a square pyramid. The next one here, let's look to see what this shape is, and this is going to be a pentagon. Sides are rectangles, so this is a pentagonal prism. Once again, our bases are the pentagons. All right, let's take a look at the last three here. The base in this one here, and it's kind of hard in some of these shapes to determine. In a pyramid, the triangles that go around are all going to be the same, or based on they're based on the sides of the shape here. So this is a triangular pyramid. This next one here is a triangle base, and we have two triangle faces that are parallel to each other, so this is a triangular prism. We'll highlight here. And then the last one here, this is a sphere. Whoops. And since there is no base, there's nothing to highlight here. All right, so that concludes the classifying the three-dimensional figures.